So my name is Erik Meijts. I'm the co-chair of this conference, and the conference is called Turning the Tide, Climate Change, Social Change and Islandness. And it's a conference that we from the University of Aruba organized together with our colleagues from the University of Prince Edward Island, specifically Professors Laurie Brinklow and Jean Mitchell. And Jean Mitchell is the UNESCO chairholder for island studies. It's a 3-day conference in which we really study in fields ranging from engineering to social sciences to the humanities, actually what the impacts are of climate change on island communities and the way in which the social fabric of those communities is affected by climate change. Turning the tide, of course, also because you want to give a positive angle to that and you want to see what can we do about that. We have 4 keynote speeches. We have 99 participants live at the University of Aruba, coming from all over the world to this conference, representing large institutions, important institutions when it comes to island studies, such as the Institute for Small States and Islands in Malta, the Sophia University in Tokyo, but also, of course, the University of Prince Edward Island and the Metabolism of Islands group at Waterloo University. 3 days jam-packed of content on small island studies.
I gave a presentation on my dissertation research, which is about nature conservation on the Caribbean Netherlands, so Bonaire, Saba and St. Eustatius. And I talked about it from a social, psychological and anthropological perspective. My main findings were that people have very different motivations to protect nature on these islands, which are in some way also similar to the universal motives that we all share on a global level. So I was able to replicate those findings. But I also found that the context is really important in defining and contextualizing the motives of people that live on these islands. Specifically, I found that we face a lot of challenges when engaging in nature conservation activities, but often these challenges face as a main motivator for people to fight for the rights of nature and to protect their environment.
I'm going to be presenting on small-scale fisheries in Japan, looking at 2 different case studies. One is small-scale fisheries of Spanish Alfonso from the Pacific side. The other side is the Japan seaside, which is warming at 1.7 times faster than the average in Japan in their coastal waters. And so looking at the challenges of small-scale fisheries that climate change is posing, and how does this impact their abilities to either implement changes in management based on their traditional knowledge, or are they limited in that? And I think this is a challenge for a lot of small-scale fisheries, artisanal fisheries, indigenous fisheries in island states, islands around the world. So my take home is I hope that I can start a dialogue that connects up small-scale fisheries in different, whether it's the boreal regions or the tropical regions, because what's happening is very similar. How we respond to that, it has to be very place and context specific. So I think there's a lot of discussions that small islands, large ocean places can discuss.
The approach is called the metabolism of islands. What we do is that we look at resource use patterns of islands. So how islands metabolize, just like a human body would do, how islands metabolize energy, materials, food, infrastructure, water, to analyze what type of risk is being accumulated in the system. So we call it metabolic risk. And just like a human body would accumulate future risks of an organ failure or heart attack based on your lifestyle and based on how you metabolize your food and how you live. So similarly, islands also accumulate metabolic risk by the way they organize their resources and maintain their metabolism.